Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to another TW9 video. You join us for episode 17 with 21 CW, 21st Century Wrestling, part of the C-Verse and our TV show Best of British Wrestling. We're not too far out from the Cornell Cup pay-per-view, and I did a thing. I have a show that will run strictly in Europe, but we perform it in the UK. So I've bizarrely went with the idea that we'll lose pop in that particular region we we broadcast the show, or we have the show, but we'll gain popularity in all the European countries. So we're going to have some workers that are going to be quite over in Europe, but not so much in the UK. But the other reason I want to use it as well is it's given me an opportunity to use people that are being not used as much, and really give me an opportunity to see who works with who and who we can kind of use in the future. So a wee bit it was pinched from the idea that Baltino had, but on the forums, and I must say I've enjoyed reading his dynasty, but I feel like it's more a case of like an on-screen developmental for me. So we'll go through the show here, and we'll basically go through the matches there, but put it this way, Baltino is doing a hell of a better job running 21st Century Wrestling than I am, but it's quite cool seeing like different people booking the company and seeing the different directions they take it. It's been a bit long between episodes as well. I've been just trying to get a few other games out of the way, done, completed. The F1 Manager's done until probably October, November at the earliest for that. All my Forza content's up to date. I've been trying to get fit, so yeah. The plan was basically get a lot of stuff sorted and I can just play a hell of a lot of TW because of this whenever RWC drops, and I want to try and get something sorted as well with Pro Wrestling Sim, which may pop up on the old YouTube at one point. So it remains to be seen with that. But yeah, we're here for 21st Century Wrestling, Best of British Wrestling. Sit back and relax for another 2-hour show. So we start the show with some in-ring action at the Kent Racecourse, sold out 5,000 in attendance. We have about here the Great Heat and Decent Wrestling as Apollo Prince defeated Andrew Lee in 12:29 with the Apology. Now this only scored a 50 because it would have had a lack of associated storyline with it, but it was more so to give Apollo Prince a good competitor against him and to pick up the win. He wins in 12:29, as I say, with Apology. There's a lot of storylines as well. We really need to like properly push them on the TV show, because I'm running the Euroweather, as I've called it, as an A show as well. It is hampering all the storylines because the main guys aren't there, so it puts a bit more pressure on me to try and keep those storylines hot. So bear that in mind if you see a lot of the kind of storylines, a lot of stuff happening to try and push them on. But yeah, as I say, I was hoping we could have been a bit better just in terms of our ring performances. I mean, Apollo Prince getting the 60, I was kind of hoping we could maybe be close to the 70s, obviously getting ready for that World Championship match. But it's one of those things, it's not the end of the world, and we'll just confirm that this hopefully was that reason. Yep, so that's good as well. But disappointing though, you get physical condition for both and the locker room morale, so that's not good. But we do continue to move on the storyline. It's a great win for Apollo Prince, who continues to build momentum. Andrew Lee puts in a valiant effort, but the man challenging for the 21st Century World Championship was just the better man on the night. He stands in the ring, the referee raises his hand, and the music of Wade Orson plays. The champ appears on the ramp and he rushes to the ring. He gets in a few quick shots on Prince before the challenger backs into the ropes, and he slides under the bottom rope and heads to the back rapidly. Orson paces around the ring before he picks up a microphone. Apollo, you're not so tough now when you get confronted man to man, are you? But it's fine, I get it. You're not 100% after that match, and I want you at your best. I want you at full strength, because I will get revenge for your attacks, and I will show the world I am the present and future of this company and the true ambassador of 21st Century Wrestling. So Wade Orson gets his revenge on Apollo Prince. It is obviously just building up a bit of heat towards the storyline, two-part storyline segment, 65 and a 78, so the attack was pretty good. Or the promo, sorry. World title My Chance storyline has advanced, gained heat, which is ideal. The performance of Wade Orson was good, and he worked well without a script. A 71, pretty good for one of our major promos of the night. Moving along, we had a bout that had some great heat and decent wrestling. Rolly Muckle Truck continues his great run of momentum, defeating Brickhouse Boulder in 5:50 with the submission hold of the Phil Nelson. 58 here, pretty basic, just continues Rolly getting some victories behind him and good momentum. I then have a small hype package for El Demonisco as we continue to build up his popularity with a highlight reel. That was an 8. It's a shame because he's like a really good worker with just no overness in the UK, but of course, Mexico, he's pretty over. Backstage, we see Joe Simpson and Michael X, the underdogs, trying to motivate smiling John Smithy. Come on, Big John, this is your chance. Get an actual smile on your face and you can beat Corey Underwood, says Joe Simpson. Smiling John Smithy just kind of starts growling, basically. So he does that, and then Michael X just says, big fella, just go out there and give them hell. Let's do this. These are a couple of segments with each other on the Euro Hour. That's why it's just been given the Euro Hour storyline. So that was the one I was progressing. Lost a bit of heat though, it was only a 28. Both Joe Simpson and Smiling John Smithy struggled while going off script. Moving along, that matchup was pretty poor to be honest. But a terrible matchup. If I can get that to bigger, thank you. Smiling John Smithy defeats Corey Underwood in 6.25 with a figure 4 leg lock. A 30, a 22 and a 24, so the crowd obviously turned off believing they are pre-show workers. But hopefully something does come of this, and I'm looking forward to this carrying on. I then get a promo from Forrest Charmer, who decides to delight us and charm us with a 51 segment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your boy Forrest Charmer to show you all why I'm indeed the future of 21st century wrestling. Tonight, I've got this ugly tosser. He's so ugly that he has to wear a mask and pretend he's from Wales. So let's get this ugly boy to the back and get me to the top. So, just him being arrogant, saying that Welsh Dragon's ugly, and a 51 promo. The matchup itself, pretty level in terms of in-ring performance. I say Forrest is going to be a massive work in progress. But decent reaction from the crowd, terrible wrestling, as Forrest Charmer defeats Welsh Dragon at 7-10 with a lucky charm. Overall, this one scored a 40. We then had the tag champs in action. Obviously, they will be in the Cornell Cup, so the titles won't be on the line. But in this one, they had a match with great heat and decent wrestling, as the Demolishers defeated Boulder Flynn in 7:41 when Langton Herring pinned Bew Boulder with, or Bew, however it's pronounced, with a choke bomb. 53, not too bad. Better performance there from the champions with the 62 and the 65. Compton was off his game. Did this one struggle with the lack of associated storyline? Yep, because it was to give them a bit of momentum going into the Cornell Cup. That is my wrongdoing at this moment in time. This one we had some 6-woman tag team action. Ai Kira is a very good wrestler from Japan that we have been utilising on the Euro Hour show to give her experience. And you can see here, the crowd were a wee bit more into it, probably because it was a 6-woman, so it was a bit more hectic. But terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. But Aikira, Steph Blake and Fia Davis defeat Cassio Peter, Macy Laurels and Katna Kornishkova in 7:42 when Steph Blake pinned Macy Laurels with a slingshot DDT, so continuing her great run of victories. Aikira was a weak link, she was struggling to keep up with everyone else's performances. You can actually see across the board there, the in-ring performances is pretty much in the 30s, just Aikira there with the 21, her and Steph Blake off her game. And of course the crowd a bit disappointed because they're still not really buying into it, but at the same time the storyline advances and gains a little bit of heat. We then had an extremely short match that saw Bedlam defeat Paris Berry in 5:05 with the Mind Strangler. This was our storytelling match of the night. Paris Berry is one of the new gens that generated pretty early from the wrestling school, but it was just to give Bedlam a dominant performance, a 51 rated segment, and he stood out as being good. But at this moment in time, we really need our main events to deliver, promo wise and match wise, or we're probably losing more pop. We see up on the Titantron after the match, Jack Bruce, and he's got a few words to say to Bedlam. Bedlam, you big scary bastard. Impressive work there, matey. Well, that's right. Did you think for one single moment I'd forgotten about you? Because it seems to me that you had forgotten about me after you took me out. I'm not physically cleared yet, but I will eventually, and when that day comes, watch out, big man. You're big, you're powerful, but you can get chopped down. So basically me trying to stall out their programme to not happen at the Cornell Cup, but obviously get that match up at the event in May. And that segment was a 65, and the storyline gained heat, so that's always promising. Pre-match up before our main event, we see the House of Business and they make their way to the VIP box to watch the main event. So that's just Doomsday, Edward Cornell, Reese Pendragon, Viktor Beskov and Yuri Ilikov. 44. Pendragon struggled somehow on script, even though it was just character development and him walking to a VIP box. And a 44 segment. Match itself will see as low as pop because it is only a 68, but still decent stuff. And about they had some great heat and decent wrestling. Adam Matravers and Tommy Cornell defeat the Men of Steel in 14-14 when Adam Matravers pinned Mass Hulk with the Mile High Moonsault. In-ring performance, Mass Hulk the weak link, Tommy Cornell head and shoulders, and you can probably tell that with the 74 versus the 47. The taking care of business storyline advanced, so we don't lose any popularity for that. Maybe could have used better opponents for Matravers and Cornell, but they gain momentum going forward. And we finish the show with the House of Business. They're in a rage up in the VIP box as they see Matravers and Cornell pick up the win, and you can see Edward shouting, whether it's me or Pendragon, or whether it's the Red Devils, you pricks are not picking up that cap. So only a 54. Sadly here, Matravers did well. It was Ilikov, Pendragon, and just Ilikov seemed to have been terrible in this one. But really, I just looked at it as an opportunity to promote, the fact we're going to see 3 of these teams in that tournament. And I'm quite happy to take a few hits in terms of popularity if it helps some of the roster get over and can put us in a better stead for the future. So we've absolutely lost pop in 6 regions. We've increased our pop in 33. I need to try and get more storylines over. The good thing about the Euro Hour show is it's all taped in the one night, so hopefully we can start picking up the momentum of these storylines over the next couple of weeks, because it did take a bit of a hit with that, and I think our TV network is not going to be happy with us. But I still need to find what kind of works in terms of our main events, who can carry common 80 rated events on pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view, on main events. Financial report. Overall profit was 39,000. We're down to 8.8. I think that's because obviously it's the first show into the month, so we were kind of floating about that, so it's not too bad. Popularity, you can see there. Small gains everywhere, but obviously a big hit to Southern England because of all those shows have been taped. So I probably might just run it in Scotland, to be honest. I think I can sacrifice my own country for that. The media scrum is fine. But we're just going to go back to the main screen here. We'll see what kind of notes there is. But also at the same time, I'm going to go through just the results at the Euro Hour, so you can see what kind of people we've been utilising going forward. So let's have a wee quick look. USPW. Oh, we've been dropped. Oh shit, we are in the shit now. Oh dear. So this is going from bad to worse. So I need to find us a TV network in the space of a week, just so we can run the show. So maybe this could be the massive decline of 21st century wrestling. So that's not a good start, especially with the Euro Hour being here. But the show was underwhelming. But then again, you look at it, hardly spectacular for Euro Hour, hardly spectacular, and okay, and they feel they should be doing better. So it's not the worst. Simon Lees is left to start filming his show. We tried to sign Matty Faith. I don't need to stop signing wrestlers, I just don't have pop in the UK. Like, they're over elsewhere, but just here, nothing. We do have Wally Rowe. He has joined after his contract expired, so we will have him over from the States. But again, that's going to be one you're building up from the ground. But I mean, that's not too bad. They gave us a lot of opportunities, you know what I mean? The warning signs were definitely there, but because I was going with the continuity, some of the storylines we probably, didn't do particularly great there. So I'll work on a TV deal, and hopefully next episode will be the best of British wrestling. That's the thing, the next TV show is scheduled to be the best of British wrestling, right? Oh well, we're still technically shown in Europe, so yeah, but we're basically a European company now, which isn't ideal, but hopefully we can get something up and running in the UK. But if I go to show history, we'll let you see how Euro Hour went down. So Smiling John Smith defeat Welsh Dragon, Evan Alpas against Corey Underwood, Unstoppable Ty defeated Akira, and the Northern Lights defeated Drop Dead Gorgeous. And the following week we had Evan Alpas against Paris Berry. Hiroki Nakasawa defeated Vinny Vigilant, so he's come in after being released from the company he was with in Japan. He just looked very good technically, and I thought he could help some of our workers. Mesa Laurels over Akira, and Rolly Muckle Truck over Mark Adonis. But you can see I'm giving a lot of promos, so there's a lot of chances and opportunities for people to develop charisma, character, etc. Next taping, Conan Kruger over Sebastian Koller. Katya Kornishkilova versus Ai Kira, so she's wrestled practically 4 matches tonight. Nakasawa over the Welsh Dragon, and we had the Red Devils pick up some momentum, defeating Crime and Punishment. And the last one, Philharmonic defeated Corey Underwood. Elder Manisco defeated Joshua Esch. Adam Matravers defeated Hal Sweeney. Smelling John Smithy over Welsh Dragon. And Cool over Crime and Punishment. So we don't look like we're in a good place. I'm probably just going to have to start hammering through this money and try and put us in a good place, because I say the size is going down, and I think it's only going to get worse and worse to start figuring out what works. As I'm still a learning curve for me, there's a lot of people I'm still not too familiar with. I'm still here and there of what works with whatever. But the good news is, it's the go home show next week for the Cornell Cup, and then we can properly go into that tournament. So the brackets are there. I've got a rough idea what the final's going to be, but how that's going to play out remains to be seen. But I think I need a very big summer, so I've already pretty much confident that Partners in Crime, that's going. I do not need a tag bout. Pay-per-view, this has to be proper. We're going to have a Scottish event for May. And there's a big build to that, because that's the 21st of May, so you get a good 5-week build. So, thank you for watching. As I say, I'm learning ever so slightly, but as I say, we will get there. We'll get there. Once it clicks, it's really going to click. And I need to try and get morale here, because there's a lot of people I've not been using that seem to be a wee bit unhappy. Oh dear, a lot of people are unhappy, and I wonder if that is because of the... Nope, it's just the toxic backstage atmosphere. Oh god. But thank you very much for watching. Let us know how your own TW9 saves are going. Remember to check out the Fantasy Bookers subreddit, the Grey Dog Software forums, twdb.com, and bethebooker.net. And until then, take it easy, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye bye.